Hi, welcome back to Box Delights. In this video series we're going to be playing through Renegade. This is a game that I've designed and it's going to be published by Victory Point Games. Well, that's the hope. It's coming to Kickstarter. July 18th is the date to look out for, 2017. So this isn't the final version of the game, this is just a press kit that allows me to demonstrate. You'll hopefully see some other reviews, some other folks too. I'm going to give you a playthrough of this game and show you how it works. In this game we play a renegade. We've got one of 4 character profiles to take. We're fighting a supermassive computer. The idea is that the government has employed these supermassive computers to harvest the thoughts of the population using neural implants. The renegades are those of us who have avoided the harvest and seek to take down the SMCs and restore faith in humanity. Our aim in the game is to survive a series of copper, silver and gold countermeasures, make it through to the other side, whilst at the same time trying to fulfill some objectives set to us by our renegade leaders. Those are going to help us earn victory points. So you can, if you wish, at the end of the game score your success by how many of those objectives you complete, how much renegade influence have you left on the SMC, reducing its power to control the population. Alright, so that's our objective. We're going to lose the game by having too many sparks or guardians. These are the countermeasures that the SMC is going to lay down on us, basically thwarting our efforts to take down the SMC, and we're going to get ejected from the server, losing the game. Alright, let's get going. We're going to start with playing solitaire. I'm going to use Monty Quantum, the green player. I'm going to take his deck of 15 command cards. Everything else is going to go back to the box. We've got an avatar to represent our position in the network. We're also going to choose an SMC to play against. I'm going to play against Viking. This is one of the stronger SMCs. Viking brings 1 copper, 1 silver, 1 gold countermeasure. So we're going to play a game of 3 cycles. So let's randomly pick 1 of each colour. These are the 7 of each colour, right? So 1 copper, 1 silver, 1 gold. The rest go back in the box. And finally copper. Next we're going to create the network. The network is created by randomly placing these 5 servers. In the final game we may have a flip side here, what we call a fragmented server. Look out for it. I'm going to keep that as a bit of a surprise. I'm not going to reveal all the secrets of the game in this playthrough. There's quite a lot of them. Let's see how this plays. So we're going to create the network. This is one of the most important parts of setup, and it's quite cool because it means that there's even a part of the game is getting this setup together. All right, we'll start his faith. Faith is the server that SMC is going to hit mostly. The next server we get out, Virtue. This has to go, this is yellow, this one has to go in the same orientation. Note that in the final game we're going to actually change the graphics here to make it more sensitive to, distinguishable by colorblind. Closed networks are good for the most part. Again, I'm not going to spoil all the secrets. There's some cards that allow or prefer open networks. Open networks are more spread out, closed ones more compact. Justice blue. My home server is going to be green because I'm playing the green player. The rules say that all servers must be the same orientation and at least 2 partitions touching. Okay, finally, where shall I put my home server? Let's go over here. Okay. My avatar is going to go here and it's going to start with 1 green contaminant. Contaminants are the things we're going to use to hack the network with. The green ones are uplinks, neural uplinks. Viking's going to bring some of its own defences too. So these are the instantiation of the server instructions. Add 1 spark, the black ones, to each odd numbered partition on faith. We've only got 25 sparks, so if we ever run out, we lose the game. 1, 3 and 5. Also add 1 spark to each odd numbered open partition, including again on faith. Alright. So open partition are ones that have got a side that's not adjacent to another partition. Each one of these is a partition on a server. Right, so 5 servers, 6 partitions on each server. This is here, faith 4, purple 4 is a closed partition. Each of its sides is surrounded by another partition. This is closed, this is closed, this is closed. Right, these are all open, all these ones around the edge. Okay, so every odd numbered partition that's open is going to get a spark. That's it, that's Viking's defences instantiated. Viking likes to start with lots of sparks spread out, and what he's going to do is kind of start to clump them up to create guardians. Sparks clump up to form guardians. These are these. There's only 5 of these. If you ever have to place a 6th, then you lose the game. Next we get some starting data nodes. Every access point, that's every number 6 partition that doesn't have an avatar, so playing solitaire there's going to be 4 of these, gets a data node. Okay, if you were playing with 4 players, then only 1 would be empty. You'd only get 1 data node for the start of the game. We can move these and put them wherever we wish. So I'm going to start by moving them like so. What I'm doing is creating a little pathway through the network. Blue data nodes, these types of contaminants, flip sides to the green neural uplinks. They help you move around the network more quickly. We're nearly ready to go. I've just got to set up the bar. This is the electric sheet bar in Sapporo, where we can go and this is where we actually go and jack in virtually to the SMC. And in the bar, nicknamed the Hack Shack, there's a bunch of upgrades that we can create by stringing commands together to create new commands. And this is basically we're going to use as a deck building mechanic. Monty starts with a deck of 15 cards. Each player has a deck of 15 cards. There's slightly different cards in them. So Monty's is swayed more towards the green cards, which are cognition, all about mind-bending techniques. Right, the power of the mind. Then we've got blue is information, red destruction and viral attacks, and yellow is deception, deceptive attacks. Right, we're ready to go. We're going to start with round 1, cycle 1, a hand of 5 cards, and yeah, lots of green and red, so cognition and destruction. Alright, let's start taking some actions and figuring out how to play this game. Remember, our objective is to ensure the sparks and guardians don't overrun the network. We've got to keep on top of these things. At the same time, each countermeasure card, remember we've got copper, silver, gold, has a goal. Copper acknowledges the price of freedom we've chosen. There's 7 of each of these, so 7 times 7 times 7 combinations that you can have in a game. With Mother, she's got 2 silver, so even more. 7 times 7 times 6 times 7. Alright, lots of different permutations of this game, as well as the random network setup, the different cards in the offer. Yeah, there's lots of variability in this game. Have 2 contaminants per player's colour on this card. How do I get contaminants on this card? Remember, our contaminants are red, yellow, green, blue. That's viruses, replicants, uplinks, data nodes. When you purchase an advanced command card from the Hack Shack, you must also remove 1 contaminant of your colour from the network and place it on this card. Okay, or you can't purchase that card. My colour is green, colour of cognition, so I'm going to have to start thinking about purchasing cards from the Hack Shack, removing neural uplinks. Alright, let's have a look. What can we do to buy cards from the Hack Shack? Some of these end up being no-brainers. So, for example, I've got Renegade Apprentice here, which only gives 1 red command, 1 destruction command. In the bar I've got 2 cards that cost 1 destruction each. These are the costs. This one here, Project Consciousness, costs 3 cognition. Nidam Ship costs 1 information. Sidekick, Overwrite, Interrupt both cost 1 destruction each. So I can play this card to pay that cost, and I'm going to take Sidekick. One of the cards you use to pay that cost needs to be discarded. So I'm going to take Sidekick, discard Renegade Apprentice. It's not discarded, it's kind of removed from your deck. So this is going to get added to our deck. Now it doesn't go to a discard pile, doesn't go straight to the deck, it goes to our hand. But what you'll notice is I've still got 15 cards in total, right? 10 here, 5 here. I've not made my deck smaller or bigger by upgrading cards. You always, one card in, one card out. Alright, so you've always got a deck of 15 cards. Alright, and that's pretty cool because now I've got 2 red destruction and a special ability, which we'll come to when I get to use it. I'm thinking about getting, remember the effect of knowledge is the price of freedom. It says every time you purchase a command card from the Hack Shack, you must remove a contaminant of your colour from the network and place it on this card. So I've got to remove a green cognition contaminant. Fortunately I started with one, so there we go. Copper countermeasures tend to be a lot easier. Silver, middling, and then gold, tricky, very difficult. Right, to complete that countermeasure goal, I need one more cognition, and I need to purchase again. So I'd really like to upload a card. Project Consciousness costs 3 cognitions. That's a really good one to have. But I need to upload. An uplink first. Okay, so I'm going to use focus. Uploading costs 3 commands, all of one colour. So to upload a green neural uplink contaminant, I need 3 cognition. Okay, so I'm going to play these 2 cards. These go to my discard pile, and I'm going to upload. And where you upload is always where your avatar's standing, right here. So that's not a bad start. Actually, no, let's quick change. Let's use 2 focus. Alright, I know it only costs, I only need 3 to do an upload, but I'm going to actually pay 4. The extra just gets wasted like a garbage collection step, if you like. So I needed 3, I paid 4. I'm keeping this bypass in my hand, and I'm doing that for a reason, because what I'm going to do now is upgrade again, and I'm going to purchase, using the shop action, overwrite interrupt. It costs 1 destruction, and I'm going to overpay with this action again. I'm going to use infiltrate, it gives me 2 destruction, and I'm also going to use bypass, which gives me 1 cognition, so I've properly overpaid. I've used 3 commands to create the overwrite interrupt. Remember, 1 card out, 1 card in, and it has to come from the cards that I've used to pay, okay, to build that program. So overwrite interrupt comes in, I'm going to take bypass out. Now you know why I used that extra command, and now I've got an extra card in my hand. This is discarded, I've used that to pay for this one. Right, 2 advanced commands. What can I do with them? Oh, I must remember to pay the cost for knowledge is the price of freedom. Yeah. Remember, this is just a property of this countermeasure. Every time I shop one of my green contaminants over here. Alright, I want to save. I can save 1 card to my next turn, so I'm definitely going to do that. I've only got 2 cards left. I'd like to have moved, but I've got no information commands here. If you've got 3 cards and they're not the colours you want, you can actually discard any 3 commands just like this without any looking at the effect, and that will just generate 1 leadership. And remember, leadership is wild. This is leadership here on Project Consciousness. This is a really good card. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this. I just don't have enough cognition left in my deck. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to just... Oh, I could do the execute effect of this one, of Sidekick, and save overwrite interrupt. Let's do that. Okay, let's play Sidekick. It says I can use the commands, or ignore the commands and instead use this execute effect. Delete 1 spark on your partition or an adjacent partition. So let's do that. And which one do I want to get rid of? I kind of feel like this one's out the way, but this one's on a high number, and Viking can be mean to high numbered partitions. I might get rid of this one. Okay, deleting a spark. We end up turn, I'm going to save this 1 card, draw 5 more. So now we've got 6 cards for our next turn. should offer us a little bit more versatility, and that's one of the conundrums of Renegade. Renegade's like a machine. It does its own thing. You can just keep passing on your turn, doing nothing, and you'll see the SMC, the network, is still working. What we're doing is we've got a toolkit of commands. You've seen me use some of them already. We've uploaded, and those commands allow us to enact our own influence over the network. Okay, so that's what this is a bit. It's a little bit sandboxy, really. You know, the machine's doing its thing. We've got to enact our influence over it to meet our objectives. Okay, that's the end of our turn. We begin a new round. The first thing we do is restock the hack shack. So we're going to fill in these empty spots. Okay, Dancing Pig is good. Reset Spark, love that card. Love that card. Can I get it? I might be able to get it. But I need more knowledge. So that countermeasure. And then the first step after restocking the hack shack is to roll for sparks. Viking tells us that during copper we roll for sparks once, in silver twice, in gold twice. And we didn't do that in the first turn of the game, and that's an exception. First turn of the game, you don't roll for sparks. So it's kind of a little let off just to get you going. Otherwise, potentially, the network could blow up without you being able to do anything about it. So first turn, don't roll for sparks. But from now on, every turn, every cycle, we're going to be rolling for sparks. So 1 for copper. We roll our dice. We've rolled yellow 4, virtue 4. That's this partition here. This die, the server die, has 5 faces, 1 for each of these, and then a white. The white means the partition the server we're on. Okay, so there's a little bit of AI built into this dice. It will hit the server we're on. We rolled yellow for virtue and partition 4. That means we're going to place 1 spark on yellow 4, virtue 4. Now, Viking has some in-play logic. During the command phase, a spark added to our partition with no contaminants, sparks and guardians, the black tokens, is instead added to an adjacent partition that has sparks. So it's going to go here and here or here instead. If there's more than one adjacent partition with sparks, go to the one that's highest numbered. So that's partition 3, that's partition 5. This spark is going to go straight in here at partition number 5. This is Viking's evil logic. It's trying to clump these sparks up. 3 sparks on a partition will be immediately replaced with a guardian. Okay. Now we're ready to continue with turn 2. Let's see what we can do. With our primary objective complete, sorry I knocked that off, we should be focused on these pairs. We don't want guardians being created, so let's see what we can do. We also want to try and create some installations if we can. Get more contaminants on. Installations created from 3 data nodes, for example, create support. Installations more powerful versions of our contaminants, allowing us to exercise a lot more control over the network, and we need to get there to be able to face silver and gold.